Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you want today's full show, be sure to check out the Dreamerspro podcast. We have that pinned in the comment section. You can catch us on Spotify or iTunes. Let me get into this show here. This show is actually inspired by another show we just produced today. It all depends, obviously, the order in which you're watching these shows. But anyway, yesterday night, I came across an article from Front Office Sports that had some very, very worrisome information as it pertains to Skip Bayless and Undisputed, right? I want to quickly touch on some of the points that they said there because I have a larger point that I want to get to. Essentially, that article had the headline saying, Skip Bayless's revamped show falls short of First Take in ratings. It then goes on a little bit further to say the new cast and format changes didn't help much for the weekday morning show. The premiere of the new and improved Undisputed Live drew in 131,000 viewers on Monday to 448,000 for ESPN's top-rated First Take, according to sources. The gap widened on Tuesday, with Undisputed Live averaging 120,000 viewers to 474,000 for First Take. And then on Wednesday, Undisputed Live plunged to 78,000 viewers versus 23,000 for First Take. The first 3 days of Bayless's revamped program drew fewer viewers than Sharpe's final episode in June, which averaged 154,000 viewers to First Take's 421,000. That's the information that inspired this video here. What am I talking about? You ever heard the saying, you never know what you got until it's gone? I'm sure we've all heard this. It sounds like a cliche, but in this particular case here, I think it's true. I've been following this new revamped Undisputed, and to me, it hasn't been all that interesting to watch, primarily because it's been so focused on the NFL in terms of the subject matters. But even though I don't follow the NFL, there's one thing I do know just by watching the show as a sports fan. It's not as entertaining, in my personal view, as it was when Shannon Sharpe was there. Now, some people may say, hey, man, you're going too far. This is a stretch. You're giving Shannon a little bit too much credit. I'm just giving you my opinion. Just yesterday, Shannon Sharpe debuted a new episode from his club Shay Shay, which features Stephen A. Smith, and we're going to get to that show a little bit later today. Trust me, we got a lot of thoughts on that show. But as I was watching it, and I'm watching this interview or this conversation, you could tell that Shannon Sharpe has something, which is like, I don't know if you call it the it factor, but he's just someone that's enjoyable to watch. Number one, he's humorous. He's funny as hell. Some people may not think that means anything, but it does. Why? Because he brings a level of lightheartedness to a very serious show if it's just Skip Bayless. He's funny, and you can't quantify what that is. If it was Shannon Sharpe talking football, not only could he go point for point, bar for bar with you in terms of the X's and O's about football, but he can do it in a humorous, interesting, hilarious way. Just yesterday, think about this. Just yesterday, I was watching an old clip of Undisputed with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless, and we were talking about Tim Tebow. And the question was centered on, who do you think deserves the most credit for Tim Tebow's run with the Denver Broncos, right? Shannon Sharpe goes off and gives his points. And then I think the host at the time, Jenny Tabb, said, do you think he's going to come back and do something else? And he's like, yeah, I think he'll probably come back. He's probably going to run for the Olympics or something like that. And I started cracking. But that's what he does. Those little things make the show enjoyable to watch. And I think it's missing that. It's missing that. Because here you have Shannon Sharpe, who has 1 million+ followers on his YouTube page, on his, on his Club Shay Shay, which means that he went out there, got his own audience. He's bringing those guys in every single day. He has that working for him. He already has the fact that he's Super Bowl champion. He's been on TV for all of these years. He's funny and all of those things. You have a guy like that, you lose him. He's now going over to ESPN, and he's taking all of that with him. All of these gentlemen, I know Michael Irvin is very successful. He's hilarious. I've seen some of his bits on ESPN First Take and all of those stuff. But I believe Shannon brought something to that show that's going to be very, very hard to replace. Whatever it is, I don't know. It's not my job to know that because I'm not the one casting people and hiring people for these shows. But I definitely think they're going to miss something. If you listen to this article, ask yourself the question, how is it possible that you lose one person, you replace that one person with like 5 other people or 4 other people, and you're bringing in less viewers? Doesn't that tell you that the person that just walked out of the door brought in something that some of us may describe as a premium? I mean, seriously. So I think they lost something here. This is just my view. I could be wrong, and I was discussing this with the co-founder, Dreamerspro, this morning, Marco. You don't let a talent like that walk out. You just don't let a talent like Shannon Sharpe walk out the door. You just don't. You do whatever it takes to keep him. If it means you keep him and you give him his own show, whatever the case may be, you figure out a way to do it. You don't let someone like that walk away. And then on top of that, not only do you let them walk, you let them go over to a direct competitor. Who does that? I don't know if they didn't have a no compete clause in the contract, but who does that? You let Shannon walk and go over to a show that is directly competing against you. If this is the viewership discrepancy, what is it going to be like when he actually gets there? What is it going to be like? So to me, man, I think they may regret it in the long run. Because Shannon was going like this. Skip, at a certain point in his career, was going like this. But over the last few years, he's just been like this. And now it's slowly starting to taper off. But then you had a guy that was going up like this. You don't let that guy go. And then replace him, not with other people that are less talented, but to be quite frank with you, with people that I just don't believe can bring the eyeballs the way he can. Now, some people still may say, hey, man, it's too soon to come to conclusions, whatever it is. You saw the numbers. And I can guarantee you there's going to be a bump in viewership at ESPN First Take. The bump that they were looking for in terms of viewers in the first week did not happen. And that's after adding all of these people. So that right there should let you know we did something wrong. This is just my view. I could be reading into it a little bit too much. That's just what I think. So what I want to know from you guys is simply this. Do you think FS1 will regret letting Shannon Sharpe go and ultimately sign with ESPN? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next show. Peace.